You think your small business has a lead problem, but you don't. You actually just keep walking past a stack of cash that's sitting right there on your table, and you've been doing that for months. And that is because you've got what we call a hand raiser problem. Now, right now, you are starved for where your next client is going to come from. You're doing the things that you think you should be doing, like posting content every other day, and really just kind of sitting around waiting for word of mouth to do its thing. But it's just not enough to keep your pockets full with some jingling cash and a little bit of space in your calendar to enjoy some days off. And when you don't know where your next client is coming from, you just go back to what you know. You end up scratching at threads to try and create some interest. You do the things you've always done and the same old things that you did before to try and figure out how to have people come to you with a little bit of interest. Now, this week, I had 3 different clients say 3 different versions of the exact same thing to me. One was super frustrated about the type of clients that she kept attracting. And I know you felt this way because I definitely have too. Some clients who were the wrong fit, some who were price shoppers, and then of course there's all those tire kickers in your DMs. Those are the worst. Now, this client of mine thought that she just needed more volume of leads to offset all the wrong people that she was getting. On the other hand, I had a new client come on board because she couldn't figure out why her marketing wasn't landing. Same problem we all deal with. And really, it was just because she kept showing up, speaking like the technician she is, in the technician language, and getting nothing but silence back, which is a common problem because we're really good at what we do, and then we try and figure out how to do the marketing afterwards. But this particular client just thought that not enough people were seeing her stuff, and so she just really wanted more visibility. And then there's this third person who recently just quit on me. They decided to go back and take a stack of exams to get more letters after their name instead of building their brand. He just thinks that he needed more credentials and that people were going to listen to him more because of it. These are all 3 different people with the same identical problem. Every single one of them was looking outward. They wanted more leads, more visibility, more credibility, but yet the warmest asset that they had already built is sitting right there untouched. Now, look, if you're new around here, my name is Taryn Dubreuil, and I've built 2 6- and 7-figure businesses by solving this exact thing. It started off with a failing gym for about 8 years that I tried to convince myself that if I just got through to the next day, it would be the day where everything finally worked out. But then the government shut down my business, I revamped my frame of reference, and I completely overhauled the company to not only provide me a healthy income, but become the very vehicle that served my perfect day by affording me property in the sun of Arizona. I'm a Canadian. I don't want to live here in the winter. Now, 5 years ago, I started mentoring other gym owners to do the exact same thing, which turned into small businesses in my town and now small businesses all over the world inside my flagship program called the CEO Clubhouse. I am proof that you can have, be, and do the things that you want. It's never too far gone. Now, back to that lead gen problem that you think your small business had. Well, it's not actually that. It's what we're going to call a hand-raising problem, okay? The people who are going to pay you next are already inside of your world. They're on your email list. They're in your old client database. They're in those DMs that you stopped replying to 6 months ago because you just didn't know how to restart that conversation. And yet, you're out there still trying to find new strangers while ignoring the very people who already told you that you're interested. So today, I want to show you the smallest possible piece of the solution. It's just one move. It's about 9 words. We're going to toss it into an email. It's 1 sentence that you can write today, send immediately. In fact, you can send it while you're watching this video, and it's going to start to surface the buyers who have been waiting on you, okay? And the best part is it's reusable, so you can repeat this process whenever and however many times you want to always generate new interest from your pool of leads. This is my process. I do it every month. All right, gang, let's talk about the same old playbook that you've been sold for the last decade. And I've used this playbook too. I even taught this playbook. So I'm just as guilty of it as the next guy. Now, that playbook was built on a funnel. The idea was niche down your ICP onto some magic worksheet, grow your Instagram followers, post 3 times a day, run ads. And when your ads don't work, run more ads. And when that doesn't work, go to another platform like TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, Pinterest. Throw it all at the wall so that there is spaghetti everywhere. And we all know that that mess ain't sticking. Now, the whole playbook is built on going outward. It's based on always finding new people, having to always convince strangers, and it's growing on what is essentially a leaky funnel with leads getting missed everywhere. They fall out the sides. We can't keep track of them. And this whole process really just sucks for one specific reason. And that's because it ignores the warmest asset that you've already built, which is the people who already gave you their email address. They're the people that you've already had real conversations with, the clients who worked with you in the past until their lives got busy. And it's the DMs with the people that you thought were a great fit, but they fizzled out and you didn't know how to inject life back into those conversations. Those people are sitting right there. They already know you. They already trust you. And every minute that you spend chasing a stranger on a platform that could disappear on you tomorrow is a minute that you didn't spend serving the warm world that you've already built. Okay. Now, your socials can vanish on you any given day. You can click a weird DM that you got from some weirdo and bam, like some nerd hacker on the other side of the world now has your account and your credit card, and they're putting up weird posts that look like ads for sunglasses. We've all seen that stuff. It's weird. And that's impossible to get back. But the container that you own, which is your email list, that's never going to disappear from you. That's an asset that you own. But the thing that I hear the most from small business owners, just like you, just like me, is that you don't want to spam your email list. So let me show you why this isn't really salesy or spamming your list, but it's more about inviting people to come and work with you. Now, the new way is super simple. It's about hand raisers over followers. You stop chasing strangers and you start serving the people who are already your raving fans. Okay, so I want you to picture this because I'm a talker in a jar, so let's get out our trusty pencil. Let's just start with a circle. Inside of this circle, this is your warm world, all right? It's all of your past clients, okay? It's your email list. It's the dormant DMs that you had. It's old conversations that you never closed, like consultations that you couldn't just get over the bridge. It's friends who have said, I should hire you sometime, but they haven't. Okay. Basically, anyone who's had a real point of contact with you and your business at any given time. Now, outside of the circle, there's all these dots scattered around. Same premise, but they look a little bit different. These are the strangers. These are followers you don't know. These are the people scrolling past your reels, the cold traffic. It's people clicking your random ads who have never seen you before. And it's the people randomly Googling, how do I XYZ late one night when they can't sleep and they're laying on the couch? Now, you're spending 90% of your marketing energy out there, okay, trying to drag these dots from the outside into the middle. All the time, the dots that are already in the circle are just forgotten about, okay? They are the ones that are sitting there waiting. Some of them are ready to buy, but you just aren't freaking talking to them. Now, the problem is that those people will never take initiative on your own, all right? These guys in the middle, they're not going to do that. We think that if we just sit here and wait for people to come to us, that they're going to, but that's just not how it works. Now, the average human being is so bogged down by decision-making before they even get to work at 9 a.m. each day. And when you sit there and you wait for them to make a decision to work with you, you're going to end up sitting there forever. Now, the whole reason anyone would ever work with you is because you make it easy for them to get XYZ solution. That means that they don't have to think about it, but rather have you do it instead, and they just pay you for that. And that starts right from reaching out. They're not actively going to make that decision. You have to make it easy for them. And that's why we want to build a sales system that is automatic. The easiest possible way to make this automatic is just to build a system of invitations into how you take your leads from prospects into the first part of your sales process. And today, I want to show you one way to start that invitation process. And it's the smallest move you can make to activate that warm world. It's just one small email composed of 9 words and we're going to send it to somebody that exists already inside this circle. Now, I actually learned about this from one of the world's greatest marketers, Dean Jackson, who has an uncanny way with words when it comes to marketing. And this was transformative for my business when I first started using it. The 9-word email is one short question presented in the present tense. It's specific to the outcome that they originally came to you for, and it ends with a question that they can answer with one word, like a yes or a no. Okay, so let's do this together. It's not as difficult as it seems, but the wording is really important. The first place we're going to start is your email. You're going to pull open your email, select all your past clients, your prospects that you've had consults with, and all of your leads. Now, in the subject line, you can type quick question. And in the body, you want to keep it black and white, like you're emailing a friend on a Friday night to go to the game. It should look super personable. Don't put it covered in fancy headers or footers, no images, no fancy font, and no side margin indexes, okay? Just plain black and white. Type contact first name, and then begin your super simple question, and that's all that's going to go in here, okay? The format should flow like this. Are you still interested in thing that they want in the next timeline? Question mark, okay? Now, the thing that they want is whatever they first came to you for, why they'd be following you, what people want when they first talk to you. Be super specific about this. Try not to be cutesy about it, okay? None of that. Because the way that you're going to capture attention with your audience is by solving their most immediate frustration right now in this time and space, not this big overhaul of a life project that you think they need, okay? If you can put numbers or objective measurements to the desire that they have and the problem that you solve, even better. Please do this. Absolutely, okay? So it would maybe look like this for a few different examples. So if you're a fitness coach, are you still looking to drop 10 pounds this summer? If you're a home renovation specialist, are you still planning that kitchen reno this winter? If you're a nutrition coach, are you still wanting to get that summer body ready in the next 90 days? If you're a business coach, are you still wanting to add 5 new clients this month? If you're a photographer, it might sound like, do you want to sign your next speaking gig from your professional portfolio in the next 6 months? That one's a little bit longer than 9 words, so I would trim that up a little bit more. The one thing to note is that the timeline is super specific, okay? There's a season, a date, a time range. There's something that makes it really concrete, okay? I started implementing this years ago when I was still running my gym, and I use it on a routine basis inside my business right now. Once a month for sure, sometimes twice if I pair it with a different offer, because it's a super effortless way to ask a very easy question to your audience. It helps you identify who exists in that 3% of your audience who is already ready to take that next step, and it's going to move them a lot faster. Because remember, they are not going to take that initiative themselves. Now, this is just the email version, but we can do this on our socials too. A simple way to mimic this is to put up like an Instagram story saying that you're looking for X number of people who want to do XYZ in timeline. And you treat that process exactly the same. When someone hits reply with yes, or kind of, or actually, I already booked someone else, sorry, then congratulations, because you now know exactly who is in that warm world of yours and who raised their hands. Because the yes people, you're going to go into a real conversation with them, because the real conversation with the warm person is generally going to turn into a sale at a rate that no ad funnel on earth can compete with. And likewise, the no people, I know those no people hurt, but you've just trimmed the fat out of your audience, because there's absolutely no point in continuing to talk at people who don't want your services, can't afford your services, or aren't the ideal types of people that you actually want to work with. No is actually a really great answer to get. It's the maybes that are really tough, but that's for another day. Listen, if you're watching this and you go, okay, I get the move, but I don't think that my audience is actually going to respond to this, then here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Instagram. I want you to find me, okay, at Taryn Dubreuil, and I want you to DM me the number 99. I'm going to walk through what your marketing currently looks like, and we can chat about whether an exact step inside of the CEO Clubhouse is the right place for you. Now, this short email takes less than a minute to compose and less than 30 seconds to actually send. But if 90 seconds of your time is too much effort for you, then let's keep doing things your way. You can keep spending your week hunting strangers. You can burn out trying to grow the numbers that aren't paying you. You can stay stuck at $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month because more inputs only scales until your energy runs out. And hey, it runs out fast. I know this firsthand, and I see it every day in the types of people who come through the CEO Clubhouse. And the worst part is that it all compounds. What you think is a simple means of just posting every day, hoping to hit the right types of people, just means that you can't do what you actually want to do because you are the nucleus. You're in the middle of it. You can't take a vacation because the whole input requires you to always be on all the freaking time. So the day that you stop posting, whatever leads might have come in, they stop. And the day you stop running ads, then your calendar for sure empties if it was even full in the first place. You can't take a day off simply because your boss won't let you. What a shitty boss. Oh, wait. That's you, but not this way, all right? When you build an automatic sales system where invites are the catalyst for people coming into your world, and you start serving that warm world, your marketing becomes a system that compounds instead of just being a treadmill that you can't step off of. And that's a frustrating feeling. The people inside that circle keep deepening their trust with you over weeks and months. They cross this imaginary line that we call the buy line, and that signals that they're ready to buy on their own time. Your job is simply just to keep showing up, pulling on the right thread at the right moment in ways that are more controllable than allowing an algorithm to decide if you're worthy of a new client today or not. And that's the freedom side of this, okay? The freedom of your money because revenue stops depending on cold outreach. The freedom of your time because you stop spending hours every week chasing strangers. And the freedom of your mental space because you finally trust that there are buyers waiting on you and you don't have to invent them from the cold, dark outer space of the internet where everything is at random. Now, this is your bridge to your perfect day, and it starts with an email. It's just a small piece of a bigger system of invitations of the email ATM system that we teach inside of the CEO Clubhouse. But it is an important one. Now, let me tell you about Jeff. All right, Jeff is a lawyer who coaches real estate agents on the legalities behind their craft, and he helps them get their deals across the table. Jeff came into the CEO Clubhouse convinced that he had a leads problem, just like everyone else. He was about to rebuild his website for the zillionth time. He had outsourced all of his time to running workshops every day of the week. He was driving hours upon hours to do in-person events, and he was consistently posting content on his socials every single day. He was doing the right things, but everything Jeff was doing was searching for the dots outside of that circle. All of the time that Jeff spent doing these workshops, he was gathering so much interest from all directions. He'd make a post on socials. He would get some insane engagement, but he did zero with it because he was waiting for those people to click an obscure link to join his membership. He left the initiative up to them. So we started building the automatic invitation part of his email ATM and then his hell yes machine. He structured his content so it filtered out the freebie hunters, and he got more strategic about how he directed engagement and interest from his workshops. And now because of this, he has a consistent pool of super interested people who he can put a hand raiser out to and get freaking dozens of responses weekly. So much so that it's helped him 3x the price of his workshop and also cross $100,000 of recurring revenue inside of his membership, which was something that he was struggling to do before he started working with us because he had a severely underpriced offer that nobody was buying. And it's not just Jeff, it's Wesley too. Wesley just crossed $10,000 in the last 30 days when he opened his offer to his following and his email list simply because he structured his content and his invitations in a way that made it easy for his audience to raise their hands. Same move, just a different industry. They both had warm worlds sitting there waiting for them. Now, I really want you to hear this. Jeff and Wesley are not special. They are not marketing geniuses. And they will be the first ones to tell you that. They didn't suddenly become great on Facebook or Instagram. They just stopped ignoring the warm asset that they already had, the one that was there the whole time. And it's inside your business too. You just haven't spoken to it yet and in a way that makes sense for those people to say yes and wave their hands. So fam, that's why your small business doesn't actually have a lead problem, but it has a hand raiser problem. The warm world is sitting right there on your laptop, in your old database, in the DMs you forgot about, all the places you have been in and just aren't thinking of. And the smallest move that you can make this week is simply just one email with 9 words sent to one person who already raised their hand once in some way, shape, or form. And that is your back door in, okay? Now, remember, this type of invitation is only one trigger out of a few different methods we use inside of the email ATM system. There's actually 5 more, and the whole email ATM sits inside of a marketing engine that runs your business while you're off doing the things you want to be doing, like watching your kids' soccer game or spending the weekend at the beach, not glued to your phone with your spouse harping at you, put down your phone. If you want the full picture of how my clients have built that ecosystem to bring leads in every day, sales every week, help their clients win every month, and most importantly, earn their time back every single quarter, just follow through to the first video down below. It's my 5-part mini series. And I'm going to walk you through the entire roadmap to consistent 30K months, working 3 days a week and 90 minutes a day. All right, cheers, fam. See you on the next one.